So a lot of you probably know that I am a storyteller, and I'm actually also, well, actually I have my degree in applied linguistics, but I did my degree, advanced degree, in using storytelling to teach English to speakers of other languages. And I have studied folklore at the University of Oslo, and I've studied it also at the University of Minnesota. So this is something I know a lot about. It's kind of almost hard for me to try to narrow it down, something that you can get a PhD in if you want to, you know, to kind of get you interested in thinking about it for 1 hour. But when I use this, when I say the word folklore, folk tales, what are some of the things that you've been learning about that you know already? There are legends. For sure there are legends. That's a kind of folklore. Folklore is like a big subject matter, like saying when you have English, you know, it's composed of a lot of different things. You're just scratching your neck? I guess that's allowed. Anything else? That's all you know? Aren't you in advanced English class? That all you know is that there are legends? There's got to be more. Come on. There's myths too. Thank you very much. Legends, myths. Fables. What? And they're folk tales, which is, you know, so legends, myths, fables, folk tales. There's actually, if you were to get a PhD in it, you get to study fun things like how rumors are spread, or how gossip starts, or graffiti, or you get to celebrate, you know, study how people, folk life, how people celebrate various kinds of customs, you know, and how that gets passed on, and so on and so forth. It's really a lot of stuff. And the thing that I've always focused in on is folk tales. Fables, you know, are short stories and with animals in them. They're different from other kinds of stories because the animal isn't just an animal, it stands for something. So a lion stands for royalty or kingliness, and the sheep stands for meekness, and a fox stands for cleverness, and, you know, everything stands for something. And they always have a moral at the end. So even though they're very short, little kids never get them. They're not really very good for little kids. You know, even though a lot of people think so because they're short. What's the difference between a myth and a folk tale?
Myth, like, explains how something happened.
Sometimes.
Long time ago.
Yeah, sometimes. But not always. There's one big difference. Got to have that on the clear. Myths, and I brought some myths that I'm working on, but myths always have gods in them. They can seem a lot like these other stories, but they do often explain how things got to be, but they have gods. So Zeus or, you know, Hermes or, you know, Hercules or any one of those guys. And if you're in the Norse myths, I know you learned about Odin, the head of the gods. The day Wednesday comes from Odin because Odin's old name was Woden. So Wednesday is Woden's day. Thursday is Thor's day. So that's named after Thor, the thunder god, that's my next manuscript. I'm working on stories of Thor, the thunder god. Very good stories. Oh, the best. But Thursday and Friday is named after another god, the chief of the lesser god named Frey. So it's Frey's day, Friday. It became in time. All the other words we got from the Vikings were things like murder, blood, axe, slaughter, you know, pillage, plunder, all this, because you know what those guys are like. But actually, all of those words that sound like that, slaughter, kill, all that, those are all Viking words. Isn't that terrible? So that's the big difference between myths and folktales. They're very similar, but these have gods. What about a legend? That's where you were at. It's supposed to have happened a long time ago, and it explains how something got to be the way it was. It's supposed to be true.